Hello, lovelies. As you know, the most wonderful time of year is upon us, and as such, our holiday baking extravaganza continues today with the softest, chewiest, most delicious ginger molasses cookies you have ever tried. There is so much to love about these cookies. They're super spicy, they've got an amazing texture and flavor, plus they will make your house smell incredible and super festive, which I love. Now, I will admit it has been a bit of a cookie extravaganza in my house lately, but I'll be honest with you, I am not sad about it. In fact, this baby loves cookies and so does his mama. So I'm excited to have another set of cookies to add to my repertoire and also to this belly. Now, to get started, we are going to be mixing up our dry ingredients. In my bowl, I've got some all-purpose flour, and to that, I am going to be adding a whole lot of incredible spice. So these are really festive flavors like cinnamon and ginger and cloves, very reminiscent of classic gingerbread. I really want these to have a nice spicy flavor. So I'm gonna get in here with some cinnamon. I have got some ginger. If you're looking for the full measurements, I will link them in the description box below. Not to worry, you can find them all there. I've got some ground cloves, some allspice, and then I'm also going to be adding some baking soda to this, as well as some salt. Pretty classic cookie ingredients. And I just want to get in here with my whisk and help these get really nicely combined, because you want to make sure that those spices are evenly distributed and that your baking soda is evenly distributed through your flour so that you get even lift through all of your cookies. All right, so as soon as our dry ingredients are prepared, we're going to set them aside and get to work on mixing up our wet ingredients. So in my bowl, I am starting with some room temperature butter. It's always nice to work with softened butter when you're baking cookies because we want to make sure that we get our butter nice and light and fluffy. And of course, softened butter is a lot easier to do that with. Now to my butter, I'm going to add some sugar. So I've decided to use some brown sugar here. You could swap in some white sugar in this recipe. You have both options, so it's really just up to you. Then I'm going to get in here with my hand mixer and just give this a good beat until it's nice and fluffy. All right, so once you've got your butter and your sugar well mixed, you can go ahead and add the rest of your wet ingredients. I've got 1 egg headed into my bowl. I've also got some molasses headed in here, and I have to say, this is really the most important ingredient as far as I'm concerned. It's important to use fancy molasses in a recipe like this as opposed to, say, blackstrap molasses, which can be quite a bit more bitter. So definitely opt for fancy molasses when you're looking for it at the supermarket. I'm also going to add a splash of vanilla extract to this because it just makes all of the flavors around it better. I'm going to get in here once again with my hand mixer and give this all a good blend. And once it's really well incorporated, I'll go ahead and add my dry ingredients to this and give it another blend until a nice dough starts to form. The final step here, guys, in making these super simple cookies is just to roll out our dough in a little bit of granulated sugar. So these are gonna have this really beautiful sort of nice sugar topping on them. I like to measure my dough out using a cookie scoop. It just keeps everything nice and uniform. So what I'll do is I'll just scoop a little bit of dough into my hands, then roll it into a nice ball. And then I'm just going to roll my ball in my sugar before I put it on my baking sheet. And the sugar really creates this lovely finish that is totally irresistible for these. And then there's also a crackle thing that happens that is so awesome. This is a really great job for the kids to help with if you can have them resist eating the dough. Elle is not quite at that age yet where I can trust her not to just be eating the raw dough straight out of the bowl. So for the time being, I will keep making the cookies until I know she can handle the responsibility. Actually, we'll be making some gingerbread together very, very soon. So you just scoop, roll it in the sugar, and get it on the tray. I've got my oven preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just going to get my tray into the oven and let these cook up for between, say, 12 and 14 minutes. You'll know they're ready when they start to crack on top. That's actually a really good sign that they are fully cooked through. Then you can just take them out of the oven, allow them to cool for at least 5 minutes, and what you end up with are the most delectable cookies you can imagine. They're so soft and chewy. They've got a beautiful texture, and oh my gosh, the flavor is unreal. I love Cookie Month. I wish it was Cookie Month every month. Guys, I hope you'll give these yummy cookies a try for yourselves. And if you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo, because you know I love seeing your kitchen creations. Don't forget, the full recipe is linked in the description box below, so you can find it there. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.